Yeah, sure. Imalumelu.
It's you, dog.
Mfana, mina uClarence Seedorf, mfana ungayidlali ID. Yazi mina
I
uClarence
need to,
Seedorf.
Dana, C2 today. Look at us in our show. Welcome, guys. Welcome. You just, just don't. It's the two of us. It's the two of us. So
Yeah,
go.
sure. Yeah, and like good evening, football lovers, and welcome to another massive edition of Let's Argue. Tonight, emotions are everywhere. Legends said goodbye. Title races are tightening. Managers defended their legacies, and across Europe and South Africa, pressure has become unbearable. Lebza is back in the building tonight, but Van Roy is unfortunately under the weather, and we wish him a speedy recovery. You know, uh, even Van Roy is sick and tired of Liverpool's performance, just like Mohamed Salah. So his doctor booked him off. Ne? Except Lani, please heal quickly. Football misses your smoke. Except Lebza, who's
Oh
it?
yes. Oh yeah, Sanbonani evening and happy Monday. And happy Monday. Happy Monday to each and every one of you. Absolutely, Tibo. Tonight we hold it down for Roy. Make sure you've got Stameta. Make sure you've got Vicks Medi Night. Make sure you cut half a lemon. You put it on the side of your bed. I don't know what you got, Roy. So I'm giving you remedies for everything. Okay? All right. So what a football weekend we've had. And when it gets to this part of the season, Tibo, Mamelodi Sundowns are obviously now playing in matches they need to be playing in. They kept their continental dream alive. But Orlando Pirates, man, it was a bittersweet feeling for me because, in the morning, everybody with the status was saying, "Six, and then the match ended. And because the guys from Durban slammed the door shut domestically. Barcelona gave Lewandowski an unforgettable farewell. Guardiola added another trophy to an already ridiculous collection. And in Italy, absolute madness in the Champions League race. Let's get to it, Timo.
Yeah, sure. Lebza, Betway Fire. We had massive action kicking off on Saturday. Stellenbosch were entertaining the Fly By Night College, Orbit College. Take us through that, please.
Well, let's start in Stellenbosch, where football became emotional, Tibo. This wasn't just about 3 points. It was about legacy. Veteran goalkeeper Lee Langerfeld said goodbye to his professional football. And honestly, it was one of the most beautiful football moments of the season. So great way to sign off for the veteran keeper.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the final 2 minute cameo, you know what? You could feel the emotion in the stadium because his teammates surrounded him, the fans applauded him, and tears were flowing. Football needed a moment like that. I think it was a very very touching moment, and you know what? A great way to sign out. For
Mm.
a veteran goalkeeper like him.
And the performance itself was mature from Stellenbosch. I want to say to the rest of the league, yeah, next year. Because imagine over 61% possession, excellent midfield control, and patient build up play. Clearly, Gavin is managing the game professionally from start to finish and is probably going to do his Wits magic on the Stellenbosch.
Yeah, but then now listen, Orbit College, they struggled badly once Stellenbosch overloaded the midfield areas. Their defensive line got pinned deeper and deeper. It was only a matter of time.
Oh yeah, man of the match for obviously emotional reasons will be Lee Langerveld. Just to say goodbye to him because he stole the moment emotionally. But tactically, it definitely has to be Stellenbosch's midfield because it controlled everything. Tibo, and then Tibo, we went to Siwelele, who met Amagesi, who came for nothing really. Take us through that.
Oh yeah, no, listen, 3 points to Bloemfontein Celtics, aka Siwelele. You know what? They scored a goal, a solitary goal. They kept the clean sheet. If you're the coach, you will be very happy with the result like this. This was survival football with nerves everywhere. Siwelele knew that they needed to win, and Spesi Cheza delivered in a crucial moment, Lebza.
No, that goal summed up the match, dog. Scrappy, hungry, opportunistic. Jeza reacted quickest after Chipeze's save spilled into danger. You know, when you're a keeper, you can't do that. But Jeza, as you said, delivered.
Oh no, listen, Makesi fought physically but lacked composure in the final third. And away from home this season, they've looked fragile mentally.
No, see, when it is backline team, I mean, I think deserves the massive credit here because compact shape, aggressive clearances, it was excellent discipline laid on, dog.
Oh no, definitely. You know what? And taking into account how they performed last week against the defending champions, I think you know what? They took a moment to just reflect. You know, they are able, I think, to play at a high level, but they can't do it without any discipline. They can't do it without throwing whatever game plan out the window once the game starts.
No, look, we go to the stalemate between Orlando Pirates and Durban City. Now, this changed everything in the title race. Should Orbit College get a passing mark versus Orlando Pirates? Orlando Pirates had the chance to almost bury the title. Instead, the pressure exploded. Tibo, your thoughts?
Now listen, Durban City defended magnificently. It was a low block. It was very compact. You know, it was all outstanding organization. I think from Durban City, Orlando Pirates had almost 65% possession and dominated the territory, but very few clear chances. And I think this was probably maybe the most disappointing part from the game plan that Orlando Pirates employed in this game. They really looked like they were unsure of how they were going to break down this Durban City side. They tried to play long balls, but in the
No,
middle of the
look.
pitch, there really wasn't anyone who was able to maybe link the play or carry the ball between the lines. And I credit that mostly to how Durban City defended, how compact they were, and how resolute they were.
No, look, the Pirates coach looked nervous himself, but even his side also looked nervous, and you could feel it inside the stadium. They were either going to explode from a goal from Pirates, or they were going to cry from a goal from Durban City. Every missed pass felt heavier. Every missed chance felt louder. I'm sure you thought that's the same thing, Tibo.
Hey, Lebza, listen, Durban City's goalkeeper, that man was immense. He claimed all the crosses that came into the box. He made big saves, and his calmness under pressure, I think, is what gave his teammates the confidence. That point may define their season without a shadow of a doubt because in this clash in particular, the Durban City players celebrated each tackle, each block
Mm.
like it was a goal.
You know, my opinion on this obviously was Pirates actually they got the result that they built up in Durban City because you guys were saying Six Kancane as if Durban City wasn't anything. Do you understand? So imagine you play for Durban City, Tibo. Imagine you play for Durban City. And now this team is saying they're going to they just need to beat you guys quickly to win the league. Do you understand? How will you play that day? How will you play? How
You're
will
you're
what
gon- you're
what's
gonna play. You're gonna play out of your skin. You're gonna play out of your
yeah.
socks. You're gonna be
You
motivated. Show these people that they've made a
yes.
grave mistake by underestimating you.
True, and that's what I think for me. Pirates' issue was they are a better team than Durban City by miles, But the fact that you said those things, you angered the actual players. The players probably would have allowed you to win. They probably support Pirates, some of the players. But the issue was you got here into them and said, Luna. Oh, just get out of the way, man. So that it's so celebrate. Basically, you were in celebratory mood before you played them, and they said we're gonna shut this party down. So my question is, will you guys come the same way to Orbit College? And how are you making Orbit College people feel if you say, "Aye, sixile kancane"? So obviously, some Mamelodi Sundowns supporters started believing again. It was a good watch from a person who really gains nothing from it, but it was a really nice watch.
Yeah, no, listen. moving along from there, we saw Amazulu entertaining Kaiser Chiefs 10-1 versus his
Mm.
former club, Kaiser Chiefs. The Amakosi faithful, traveled down to KZN, and Kaiser Chiefs are finishing the season with real momentum. That's another disciplined away performance from the Glamour Boys.
No, no, Lilepo continues to grow into a massive player for Chiefs, because his movement inside the channels caused Amazulu problems all afternoon, hoping in the off-season he works on his finishing.
Yeah, but also you need to take into account that Kaiser Chiefs defended with maturity too. They allowed Amazulu possession in harmless areas that protected the central spaces brilliantly. I think if you're 10-1, you will feel aggrieved that you got it so wrong. But if you're like me, sitting from a neutral standpoint, kudos to Kaiser Chiefs. You know what? Every game that they've been playing, they seem to be growing from strength to strength, game by game.
No, possession was almost even, but it was Chiefs then that was a bit far more clinical in the transitions. And obviously, man of the match does go to Lilepo again. He's collecting them. He's like a Jeremy Doku. I think he doesn't know how to play, but he keeps winning matches. Damn. So we also saw Golden Arrows go ahead and take on Chipper United. Golden Arrows, all they wanted to do was secure the top 8 football, and deservedly so, Thibaut.
Yeah, yeah, no, listen, Isaac Cisse was outstanding early on in the game. Arrows attacked Cheaper's defensive gaps aggressively and never allowed them any rhythm within the game.
Yeah, no, you know what? For Cheaper, though, real danger now. Because if you look at the log, the pressure around relegation playoffs is becoming enormous. So any team that's going to play Cheaper in the last match of the season is going to be in trouble because they will also be playing out of their skin. We jump over to KEF football. KEF football. We really just want to focus on Mamelodi Sundowns, because yes, we did have Zamalek playing USM Alger in the other Confederation Cup final. So those who are interested in that match, what a nice match. Let's see how it ends up, but we'll comment on that one next week. But the one versus Sundowns, that's the one that really had all of us shook. We saw the ultras from Morocco actually also acting out, fighting with the Sundown supporters. Actually, Sundown supporters need to learn how to fight. Anyway, Mamelodi Sundowns, we've asked FAR Rabat to come visit. Thibaut, what were your thoughts?
Oh no, listen, where Mamelodi Sundowns are concerned, you know what, this is the real Sundowns. I think, Lebs. I think, you know what,
Mm,
they were composed, they were dominant, they controlled proceedings in the game. I think they would have liked to get more than one goal. I think they would have
mm.
liked to get more than one goal, but I think Mamelodi Sundowns have shown us that they are very much mature and know how to handle these games in Africa. And just before we move on, Lebza,
Mm.
that game between Zamalek and USM was
Yeah.
the second leg of the CAF Confed final. You know, and
Oh,
and
so
USM.
basically the winner is there
Yes, they beat Zamalek,
in
like on their home
penalties.
turf in Egypt. It's bad.
Hey, son, they must definitely be angry. Sorry, dog, I wasn't following. If you're a chief supporter, you know nothing about CAF, bruh. You know?
Nah, that's cool. Nah, that's cool, man.
Okay, so look,
Yeah, and then
obviously
getting back to
Cardoso got
Sundowns.
his, yeah, Cardoso got his setup actually quite right for this match. Sundowns controlled nearly 68% of the possession, and completely dictated the midfield tempo. But Farabat struggled to escape their own half for long stretches, and we hope that this is what happens when we get back to their stadium.
Yeah, but now listen, Debs, I don't know if you know anything about Obrimudi, Bane. I mean,
Mm,
what a free kick, my man. What a free
yeah.
kick. 30 yards out, pure technique. No goalkeeper in Africa could have stopped that one.
Why Africa? Well, how? That's an amazing,
No,
amazing kick. And
you know what? No, I don't want to embarrass Joan Garcia, because no, Joan
mm,
Garcia
mm.
was never going to catch that one. You know, Ter Stegen was not gonna catch this one. That's why I just
Why,
kept
why,
it. You
why are
know
you
what? Yeah.
just going to Barcelona coaches? Why can't we
That's why I
be?
just kept it on our continent.
We could have been in England and said Joe Hart. You understand? We could have been
Leave Joe Hart
somewhere.
out of this. Leave Joe
But
Hart
look,
out of this.
defensively, Sundowns finally looked stable. You know, like after conceding so many goals in the last couple of matches, I think it was 7 in the last 2 matches. You know, I think it brought calmness, Cupido's return, and also aggression to that back line. So, really happy that they could actually shut the door. Thibaut?
Yeah, no, listen. Man of the match was Obri Mudiba without a shadow of a doubt because he scored a worldie. It was outstanding both offensively and defensively. But I will say again, if you're Mamelodi Sundowns, you would have loved to get more than one goal because you know what? At this stage of the competition and with the manner in which you know things transpire every time South African teams are competing on the continent, you don't want to let anything. You know what? You don't
Mm,
want to leave anything to chance because even at,
yeah.
after halftime we saw VAR wasn't working all of a Sunday, you know, and
And that side,
you
Velia,
know,
it's going to be very hard. We'll see the army with
and that side
rifles
is going to
standing
be
on the
very
field.
hard, you know. But anyways, it's yet to be seen.
Look, dog, Premier League is obviously now people are fighting for Champions League places or Europe. Let's just call it Europe, right? Because also in Europe, there's the Europa, there's the other one, the Confed. So basically, everyone's fighting for European places, right? There's no top 8 there. But there are teams that are playing very, very good right now, like Aston Villa. They've got a final to play. So I'm sure this has helped them to actually, go ahead and prepare for that tough match that they're going to have in a few days' time. So he's done it again. Champions League qualification has been secured, and Liverpool absolutely dismantled it. That's why Roy is sick, right, Tibo?
No, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. He is sick to his stomach. You know what? Even Mohamed Salah, after the game, you know, he threw everyone under the bus. Aston Villa's
Mm.
pressing structure was phenomenal, Lebza. Every time Liverpool tried to play through the midfield, Villa swarmed them and dismantled any move that they tried to link up or to create from the middle of the pitch.
No, I hope the unstoppable Oli Watkins is going to the World Cup because 2 goals, constant movement, relentless pressing. Because guess what? He'll be playing against those defenders in the World Cup. Van Dijk is going to be for Netherlands, right? And then I'm sure the other guy is also going to be for Germany or something. Upo, so there's this, or whatever team that he plays for. So hopefully he's going to the World Cup because he can handle some of these defenders.
Yeah, but then listen, Liverpool defensively were a disaster again away from home. You know, 7 defeats in 8 away matches against the top nine tells you the whole story, Lebza.
No, Arneslot looked furious on the touchline. That's all he's managed to look the past couple of months. Furious. He should basically join Fast and the Furious 11 whenever it comes out. And honestly, understandably so, man. His charges are not his charges.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. But you know what, ne? I don't know if you saw the headlines that Xavi Alonso was announced as the next
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea manager.
Oh,
I don't
yes.
know, you know, for whatever reason, I feel like this was a missed opportunity by Liverpool. You know, because Xavi Alonso played for Liverpool, I would have thought
Mm.
that you know, if maybe they had plans of maybe getting rid of Arne Slot, that they would have at
Yeah.
least, you know, communicated or maybe even negotiated with Xabi Alonso. But it is what it is.
No, it's a business deal, bruh, because they cannot afford to give Arneslot the firing, what you call, amount, unless it really gets bad. You see? So they are
Yeah.
willing to risk probably another season with him. I think. I think they are willing to risk another season with him, and then hopefully he does get back to the winning. Because the guy was amazing in his first season. No, unless it was a fluke. But
If if
that's
if
what they're
if you
hoping for.
were if you were the sporting director or CEO or board of directors there at Liverpool, are you keeping on a slot?
I would have already. It depends also on the if I fire him, is it cheaper? You understand? Which one is more expensive? Because his clause might be great. That if you fire him, you have to give him like 10 million or the rest of his contract for in years, and that's
But then
basically a lot of money.
but then don't you think the club, they also protect themselves by inserting a clause that says if you've lost, an X amount of games, then
Mm.
your compensation,
Yeah, no,
it's
they
maybe
do
less
have one
than.
on performance. They definitely do have one
Yeah,
on performance. But remember,
yeah.
Arnaslot, I think, signed an extension as he was leading the Champions League group, as he was, what you call this thing? He had just won the EPL. So when you sign an extension like that, bro, they want to keep you. You know, they think they've got a gold mine, you know? Anyway,
Great.
we had the FA Cup final. Chelsea, yes, with Alonso, but this time they were still coachless. Let's say, playing against Pep's Manchester City. Obviously, Pep 20 trophies in 10 years. I'm sure Ferguson is angry that man, there's someone that just did it better, did it quicker than me, and he didn't have to chew gum for all those years. But that's not success, man. That's domination by Pep. That's domination by Pep, man. Nothing else, Tebow.
No, listen, this was a classic Guardiola Cup final performance. Control first, patience second, killer instinct very late on in the game.
No, Chelsea defended bravely, man, for long periods, but City kept probing. Nearly 71% possession, 18 shots. Eventually, Semenyo's outrageous Ntwana 10 there, back heel, won it.
Yeah, no, listen, that finish was pure improvisation and one of the goals of the season, if I may add.
No,
I
yeah.
think Antoine Semenyo is definitely a fan of Karim Benzema.
No, definitely. Karim has done that one quite a lot of times, and he's done it to great effect. You know what? For me, man of the match was definitely Rodri. This City looks different when Rodri is in and when Rodri is out. It's so sad that a team has to actually depend on a man. But obviously, his position is like Mikelele. Once they've said, you know what they said about Mikelele once to say
Yeah, John
you
Claude
don't see
Makele.
him. So yeah, that you don't see him, but once he's not on the pitch, you see it, and that's Rodri also in a sense that you don't see him a lot when he's playing because he just does his job. He works, he gets the ball, passes it, passes it. But once he's not there, then there's just this weakness. Even the defense that was in front of him just disappears. Well, look, Newcastle took on West Ham. I was a West Ham supporter last week, the other week, because they were playing Arsenal. But thank you, Newcastle, for punishing them for losing against Arsenal. Thibaut, what do you think of this match?
Yeah, no, listen, West Ham are hanging over the relegation cliff and Newcastle punished them brutally. They really didn't take any prisoners. It was really not nice to watch, eh?
No, look, Voltemade was sensational, buddy. Like movement, hold up play, finishing, outstanding. You can't mark some. You can't play him like that.
Yeah, look, West Ham defensively, they collapsed once Newcastle increased the tempo in the game, and now relegation is starting. Well, is actually staring them dead in the face, and I don't know if they'll be able to conjure something up in the last match day to save themselves.
Look, Man United took on Nottingham Forest, but you know what? The VAR decision will dominate the headlines, but United showed resilience. And I was laughing, bruh, how Manchester United fans love Casemiro. I'm like, you guys got a finished Casemiro. Casemiro at Real Madrid was a beast. Casemiro at Real Madrid was like what used to actually help stop, any Madrid, what you call, defensive breach. He used to block for Madrid so well there. He used to be so amazing before he started obviously wanting to move. So yeah, United 3, Nottingham Forest 2. Thibaut?
Yeah, and listen, I just want to clear something up. Manchester United did not get a finished or a washed up Casemiro. Manchester United was finished and washed up. Casemiro
Ah,
walked in there. Casemiro walked in there, and it was absolutely unbelievable. You know what? The sacrifice that he made, leaving Luka Modric and Toni
Yo,
Kroos in Madrid to come in and be paired with Bruno Fernandes
yo.
and Kobe Mino. But that's
Mm.
neither here or there because the VAR decision definitely Lebza will dominate the headlines. But Manchester United, they showed resilience, and we haven't seen this type of mentality from them in years. I think Michael Carrick has done an absolutely fantastic job ever since taking over.
No, direct running, aggression, leadership. Sounds like I'm talking about a Ferguson team. But Matheus Cunha was electric, eh, Tibo?
Oh no, definitely. And if you're Nottingham Forest, you're gonna feel like you were robbed though, because literally no question. That was definitely, you know what, a questionable call that the referee let slide.
Well, they've been Manchester United for a reason, guys. They do get some nice calls, right? I'm just kidding, Man United fans. Look, Barcelona took on Real Betis. A perfect ending. Perfect, perfect, because Barcelona became the first team in Spanish football history to win all 19 home matches in 20 La Liga seasons. Imagine, dog. And some of them we
Yeah,
didn't even
no.
play at home. And Robert Lewandowski, farewell, made it emotional, man. But thank you, old man. You did your thing. Now we're gonna get Oyazabal. Aye, Madrid.
Wait. I just also want to say that, you know what, Robert Lewandowski, I think, was immense for Barcelona. You know, he was scoring so many goals that Juan Laporta had to tell him to stop scoring goals, otherwise they would have had to pay Bayern Munich more money. And the standing ovation at the end when he came off, that was an absolutely special moment, you know what, and he is definitely one of the greatest number nines of this generation without a shadow of a doubt. And just on that line that you just put out there about Mikel Oyarzabal, is that a real thing or
Mm.
is just that the rumor mill?
Donna, it starts off in a rumor, but there's no smoke without fire. Mm.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then Rafinha was sensational. Welcome back, boy. 2 goals, constant energy, elite movement. We gotta find a way to keep Rafinha fit for the whole season next season because once he goes away, key part of the team. Can't replace him with the other players in the team. Shibo?
Yeah, no, listen, Joao Cancelo strike. I don't know what you think, but that was ridiculous technique. Joao Cancelo, I think if it wasn't for his topsy-turvy personality, he would be without a shadow of a doubt the greatest fullback.
You know what? The Atletico Madrid, obviously, now that they're done in Champions League, are back to winning ways again. 1-0 versus Girona. And this was possibly Antoine Griezmann's final match at the Metropolitano. I wonder where he's going to go. But you know what? He delivered.
Yeah, no, listen, that cross from Ademola Lookman was world class. You know what? Girona actually played very well, though, and they deserved more from the match. And Lebza, Antoine Griezmann is moving to the MLS.
Is he going to join Messi?
Of course, he is.
Yeah, let him come to Miami, man. Let him come to Miami. Welcome to Miami. Engineer Miami, Yagi. Anyway, Real Madrid took on a struggling Sevilla. They've been trying to save their season, but both teams are struggling. A 1-0 result is definitely, uh, you know what, a result I wouldn't say was deserved because of Courtois. That's the reason that Sevilla couldn't score. Thibaut?
Yeah, no, listen, Sevilla created enough chances to get something out of this game. You know, sort of like when they played Barcelona and they scored 4 goals against them. But this time around, Thibaut Courtois was absolutely immense between the sticks.
Look, AS Roma, we're going to Italy now. And as we get into the Italy, we check AS Roma winning 2-0 versus Lazio. Kings of Rome, again, Thibaut?
Yeah, this wasn't football. This was outright war. There was 2 red cards that came out. There were fights. There was chaos. It was pure derby madness, Lebza.
And obviously, Gianluca Mancini stepped up massively, showing up with the captain's performance.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this is exactly what you're looking for, you know what, from your captain, taking into account, the stakes in this particular game. And after that, we saw Juventus going down to the Viola. Fiorentina walked into the Allianz Stadium, scored 2 goals, kept a clean sheet, left with the 3 points. This result shocked Italy. Juventus now are outside of the Champions League places because all of their closest rivals won their matches. It's going to go down to the wire, Lebs.
No, Fiorentina played fearless football in Turin. I don't know what's happening with Juventus. Do they now have the Tudor disease again? But anyway, you know what? If I was ever a striker, this was the name I would want to have: Mandragora. You understand? Because you can just imagine what I'm gonna do with the ball when it comes to me. Whether I hit a chest rep, Mandragora's finish. I was outrageous, dog. And then,
Alebza,
mm,
I just wanna interject there. If if
yeah.
if you're a striker, there's only one name really, that can give, do the job. When the defenders see your name,
Mm.
on the sheet, on the team sheet, and that's the name of Teminkosi Terrafontaine. You know what? The only drawback there The only drawback there is that the man would play 34 games and score 4 goals, But you
Imagine.
take that away. I'm telling you,
Ah,
that is the striker. That is the name that number 9
Terra.
deserves.
Terra
Terra.
Fontaine.
Terra
Anyway,
Fontaine.
look. Napoli 3-0 versus Pisa. Antonio Conte's Napoli handled business professionally. 76% possession. Total control, teams.
No, listen, Scott McTominay dominated midfield physically, and Napoli looked calm under pressure.
Look, Como are now back to winning ways again. 1-0 versus Parma. Can we really start actually talking about Como? Because Cesc Fabregas has his club dreaming of Champions League and they are playing amazing football. Thibaut?
Yeah, you know what? Their football is brave, possession based, intelligent, and fearless. But you know what? If me, to be honest, I think you need to crawl before you walk. You need to walk before you start running. I think it would do them. I mean, it would be a great part of the fairy tale if Como found themselves qualifying for next season's Champions League. Yes, but I think for them qualifying for the Europa League, will do them a world of good more than actually just jumping into the Champions League.
Yeah, you know what? It will be a totally different ball game once they get there. But hey, you never know, man. It could be one of those stories, and they get in there, and they actually start winning something. Look, Strasbourg had Monaco come visit in Liga. 9 goals. I'm like nine, bruh. This was absolute madness. 5 for Strasbourg and 4 for the visiting Monaco.
No, listen, Monaco were leading 4-1 at some point, Lebza. Then they
Mm.
completely collapsed. You know what? I think everyone from the Monaco team, they really need to take responsibility for this game because there's no way you can explain how you were at a point 4-1 up and then all of a sudden you've conceded 5 goals and you've lost the game. This was a very
No,
poor game management from Monaco.
I can understand, bruh, because when you are a player and you're playing at home and you are already losing 4-1, I'm telling you, only pure emotion is going to get you through this match. And that's what Strasbourg players actually played within the final 30. A wave after wave of attack. And then we've got PSG, who took on Paris FC. Timo, we can see PSG is already starting to rest some people to prepare for the final. What was your thought on this match?
Lebza, look, now this is one way to end the season, for PSG. And if you're PSG, you know what? You'll be glad that all this time when you've been rotating and you've been playing your B or your C team, this is actually the moment where they fell at the hurdle, after so
Mm.
many occasions where you rotated the squad, you play these youngsters. They produced what was needed. This in this moment when they celebrated winning League On is when they suffered to the not even cross the street rivals.
Yeah. And obviously, PSG losing Dembele early completely changed their attacking rhythm. So let's hope Dembele is not injured or it was just a tactical takeoff because they'll miss him if they are to go play in the final without Dembele. Then it becomes anyone's game. And then Lyon took on Lens, and Lyon did nothing. They actually, those type of visitors, I mean, no, not visitors, the type of hosts when you get there at come dine with me that haven't prepared nothing. They haven't asked you how you like your steak. Hence, Lens took away everything, took the cutlery, took the Tupperware, and went back home 4-0 victors. A brutal farewell for Endrick as he goes back to Real Madrid.
Yeah, no, listen, Lens completely destroyed Leon tactically. Fast transitions, ruthless finishing. I think this was the cherry on top for the magnificent campaign that they've experienced, I think, this time around. And if you are Lens, you'll be looking forward to what's to come next season. Hopefully, they will keep the manager. Hopefully, they will reinvest in the squad, add more quality, and who knows what could transpire next season.
So, do you think if Jose Mourinho just does take over at Real Madrid, he will use Hendrick more?
Without a shadow of a doubt, I think whoever comes in, even though it has been confirmed by Fabrizio that Jose Mourinho is on his way back, Hendrick will play. Hendrick will
Oh,
definitely
okay.
play. I think this
And
goes without
will
saying.
Mbappe be moved to the wide side?
You know what? If let me put it to you like this, ne? Worst case scenario, Vinicius Junior leaves the club, right? He leaves. Kylian Mbappe still won't play on the left wing because he's a better number 9 than a winger. The only issue is that, to me, his body language on the pitch, he does not want to play as a number 9. In his mind, he thinks he's some what a false nine that can drift from the left to the right like he used to in League On. In League On, you know what? He was playing against Pokemons. No offense, to the competition there. But some of the tricks and flicks that he's tried to employ or maybe use in La Liga, I mean, it's almost comical,
No, they
and,
won't work here, bro.
that stuff doesn't work here, bro. And now it's like, irrespective of where Kylian Mbappe plays, I think the man needs to exercise a bit of humility, because irrespective of him being a great individual, right? I think his true colors, I think, have been put in the spotlight, and he really now needs to sacrifice for the sake of the team. If he cannot do that, Real Madrid are not going to win anything. We are going to continue in this run, and it doesn't matter if they get rid of the players maybe that were there when we last won a Champions League or when we last won the Liga. For me, that won't make a difference, because the club spent 150 million euro in like a signing on fee for Mbappe when we got him from PSG on a free transfer. There's no way that the club are going to sell this guy. Forget it.
No,
So
they won't.
whilst he is there,
But Mourinho will find a way.
himself,
Mourinho will find a way
happen.
to motivate him.
Nah, I don't think so, and I'm gonna tell you why. And Jose Mourinho, he doesn't pull any punches, and he's not afraid to tell you where to get off. Right now, if you look at the coaches that have managed Kylian Mbappe, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, Mbappe has won and the manager has left. It doesn't matter if this guy was a nonchalant type of guy. Doesn't matter if this guy was a tyrannical ruler. You know what? If the results in the end didn't come because of this gentleman's temperament, it was the manager who got the boot. It was the manager, who got the wrong end of the stick. And I think that's basically how football works. There's no way the club is gonna sell all the players and keep the manager. They rather get rid of the manager, get a new one, and try and find a balance or try and find another way. What to try and win. You see, but you know if you just look
All
at this
right.
guy's track record, Lebs, I'm sorry, dog. You
Mm,
know what? If you just look at this guy's track record, dog, there's no way we're gonna win if he doesn't change his mentality.
No, Mbappe needs to basically change the way he plays if he really wants to play in a top team. He can go back to Liga, he'll be the top there. But
They
anyway,
don't
we
want
get
him.
into flops. We get into the flops right here. Chelsea, from my side, I want to put them down here as a nomination. 7 consecutive domestic cup defeats. Is it a mental block? Tibo, who you got?
Ah man, I have Orlando Pirates because one win away from coming or claiming the title race and they froze. You know what? Ne? This is something that we do not expect from would-be champions.
Definitely. And then others, obviously, is Mohamed Salah's comments, throwing teammates under the bus publicly, dangerous dressing room energy. So, who do you think? Pirates, Salah's comments, or Chelsea?
It's definitely going to Orlando Pirates. Chelsea season has
Yeah.
been over for like a long time now. Mohamed Salah,
Mm.
we already knew that he's the Achilles heel for Liverpool. I
Yeah.
mean, look at Roy. Roy is even booked off because of Mohamed Salah. Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates. I'm starting to think that they're allergic to winning. Everything is in
Mm.
their favor for them to take top honors. But like Arsenal, they look like they want to bottle everything. Who's your pick, Lebza?
No, my pick is definitely Salah, bro. You can't throw your teammates under the bus. You know what? You can all hate the coach, but you can't throw your teammate. Then even the next team you're going to, they'll also look at you as like, this is a potential future snitch. You know, this is a potential future snitch, man. Anyway, and then let's get on to the props there. Props.
Yeah,
We
the
got
first nomination coming in is Robert Lewandowski. I think one of the greatest number nine football has ever seen. What's the second nomination, Lebza?
no, a legend of Atletico Madrid also had a farewell match, basically at Metropolitano. Antoine Griezmann.
Is he an Atletico Madrid legend? He's not, Lebza. Stop.
What
Lebza is not.
is he a Real
Lebza is not.
Sociedad a Real Sociedad legend?
Not even that. But we'll come back there. Ne? Our third nomination is Pep Guardiola. You know what? 20 trophies in 10 years. That's historic greatness right there. He is definitely an elite manager. Who's your pick,
I
Lebza?
know. You know what? Whether it's a Pep or Lewandowski, I think I'll go Pep, man. You know, because he gets so much um, um, rubbish said about him during the whole year, but he ends up getting a trophy per season, something. You know, so there he
It's not
is.
rubbish, it's facts.
You know.
It's facts, man.
All right. Football is more than goals. It's legacy, pressure, emotion, history. And tonight, football reminded us why we love this game. For Roy recovering at home. Timo, anything you want to close with?
Yeah, I just want to say that Pep Guardiola is still a loser because in the time that he was there at Manchester City, he's only spent 2 billion pounds, not euros, pounds, and only managed to win one Champions League. I don't care if he wins a FA Cup. I don't care if he wins a League Cup. And now he's on the verge. He's on the brink of causing a major catastrophe by letting Arsenal win the league. The rest of us won't be able to live it down because Arsenal fans already think that Bukayo Saka is better than Lamine Yamal, and it's all because of Pep
You.
Guardiola. But other than
But do
that,
you do you
for another
know,
great
Tibo?
show.
Tibo, do you know Ugutiena, what you call this thing? Um Pep Guardiola. Once I mentioned his name, like Pep
Obviously,
Guardiola does not pride himself about the Champions League. He prides himself on leagues. He collects leagues because that's the
whatever, man.
marathon. That's the
Whatever, man.
marathon.
Whatever, man.
But
Whatever.
we understand Real Madrid. Real Madrid
Lebza,
is a Champions League team.
Lebza, you can say whatever it is that helps you sleep at night. Ne? Oksalayo. Oksalayo. The Champions League is the holy grail. And that is all, dog.
You know what, guys? We'll see you next week. While he argues about his many Champions League, the league is the league, man. It's difficult, it's long, it's a marathon. But from both of us right here, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure. Let's argue again next week. Cheers!
Yeah, sure.